Hello, this is Gypsy. I am going to try to do this in one take. This is the envelope Gypsy Love junk journal that I have created for a swap at the Facebook group Junk Journal Junkies. Already I can't talk. Great. And so this is quite the multi-sensory. I made it on purpose when I started to see that. This is quite the multi-sensory project. It has visual component. It also has a lot of jingly component. And also in some of these fabrics and things that I've tied on, I've used thread that used to be wrapped around incense. So it also has a fragrance component as well as tactile with all these other kinds of fabrics and pages, etc. So here's the front cover. This is, I think I better not explain exactly what all I did. There's fabric on here and this nice little dangly and some bangles that you can take off. It has a fishing lure kind of thing on it, but you can take any of these bangles. Let's see if I can show this one. There we go. Bangle there. Currently it's not the closures are not finished. This one will not be attached to the book. In fact, neither one are. So you just unwrap it like this. And then this one, it's going just a band that will go like this. And kind of chunky, as you can see. I had to stop because there's way too much stuff going on in here. I hope whoever gets this doesn't mind imperfection, because there's a lot of imperfections in this journal. And I also was thinking there's a lot of journal space that's removable, and most of the chunkiness is also removable. So it can be changed around as you desire. I used mainly my scrap paper, the K Sera collection from K & Company, Prima romance novel, and also Graphic 45's Bohemian Bazaar. There's some other papers in here too. So we'll go in. I think I might have to, you know, if I'm careful, I don't have to. I left this blank. This may not be blank by the time whoever gets this receives this. I have a few things I'm leaving out. Here is room for a tag, which will be finished when I send it. Oh, I guess I use this tag for the. Here is one of the Gypsy images. I hope that this is not just kind of blank on the back. This is fabric that I made the pocket out of. Another image. Some paper. Some homemade washi tape. This page, I don't know if you can see it, it's really subtle. This is a design page that I actually I copied out of this book, which is Indian designs. Look like this. And so I made a copy, and then I coffee dyed it, and because I have an inkjet printer, it washed out, and it looks fantastic as far as I'm concerned. I have a few pages like this. Pocket. I have a lot of blank pages in here, and this is a ribbon. Some of these pocket pages may have things in them by the time I send it. Here is tag, stamping on the back. This also, I believe, is a tuck spot, yes. I showed this in the picture at Junk Journal Junkies. Tag. Lindy's and a stamp on the back. Here is a card from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I have all that set in here at one point or another, and a poem that I had out of a book that I'm basically gutting. They are love poems, and since this was vintage Gypsy love, I decided, well, here's kind of a couple things in here that have to do with that. Now this tag is what's making this journal so chunky, and so it's removable. I just thought it looked so kind of Bohemian Gypsy style that I decided to include it, but this is the thing to remove if you don't want to have such a chunky journal. Quote, I don't know if you can read it. Blank pages, stamping, no, that's embossing. And I use the same stamp along the edges of all these pages. They all look alike. It's a paisley stamp. I probably use it more than any of my stamps. This is a stencil kind of a design that I made, and this image from Ephemera's Vintage Garden is actually a little booklet. Another Gypsy on this page. Some of it I think you can put in a pocket there. Another blank page. All the pages are coffee dyed, but they're not baked in the oven, so they're not crinkly. Another embossed image. This is a tarot card, and it opens up. This is another Indian kind of a scrap that I had, an envelope that will have probably some things in it by the time I send it. Gypsy image with writing, notebook writing paper on the back. A lot of the things that I made here, I painted gold. I used a lot of paper that I painted gold and then I cut. Here's another of the Gypsy images. Blank on the back except for stamping. This one has fibers on the bottom. This is not a ribbon. It's a modeling paste that's gold, gone through a Tim Holtz stencil. And this is from Graphic 45, journaling card, a doily behind there. Another pocket. This is a cloth, and I have a lot of cloths and other things that come from India, and so this is a wonderful way to use it up. I know that in Gypsy culture has a lot of Indian influence. Here's another one of those pages from the Indian design book. This one was pink and it washed out to this color when I coffee dyed it, and here's some homemade washi tape. Another blank page. Here is a place for a tuck spot, and here is a tag that has a doily pattern on it that happened when I coffee dyed it. An envelope. Stamping, stamping. Here's a tuck spot. Another tag that has a doily pattern on it, and another little booklet. These are the bookmarks, and they have bells on them, which are not tied on there so tightly that you can't take them off if you're driven nuts. Here's a pocket, which will have something in it by the time someone receives it. Here's a fold out, and has another Gypsy image in it, and some stenciling on the back. This paper here, the fold out paper, and this paper that's included, these are avocado dyed papers. Some of them then I coffee dyed on top of that. It really came out pink. It's really, really cool. And I don't know if you can see this, the bottom of this, I put some lace, because I avocado dyed some lace too, and the lace made this pattern when it was drying on the paper. Here is a seed packet that I had, and another tag. There'll be more here too because I have an idea about what I want to do. Another tag with some glitter on it. This is another Indian fabric that I had that I kind of ripped up. Doily on the back goes in this tuck spot here, but you have to put it so that the knots go down below the pages or it will make the book even more chunky than it already is. Envelope. This is made out of the paper that I was using underneath my sprays. So it's came through, it's parchment paper, I think. More blank pages. Another half page. Another what do you call that, stencil that I made with a tag that has, it's blank, and I don't know if you can see this, but some of the papers and some of the tags, what I did was I coffee dyed them and then I laid them down on paper that I had used for spraying Lindy Stamp Gang, and when they were wet they picked up remnants of the spray. It looks really pretty. And some of the other papers, these blank papers, I put them down on stencils, and that really there's a subtle pattern of stencils on them that's not showing up. Here's my favorite image. This gorgeous actress dressed like a gypsy. This is part of the ribbon that I had previously and some of the coiny bling, and a tuck spot on the back. This one will have a clip by the time it moves to the next person. Another one of these. Room for journaling. This is a piece of fabric with tassels, obviously, that I've fastened onto here. And one has to be a little bit careful taking this image out. Has some, what do you call that, metal leafing on it, on these Tim Holtz flourishes. And here's room on the back for journaling with a very black pen. So put that back. This is a scrap. It's part of an Indian wedding invitation. This little kind of pipe, little straw with the pom-poms on the end, and this was part of an invitation, and I just cut it up and put some lace on it. Here is some coffee dyed love poems. I don't know what, someone can do something with it. Here is another image getting caught in the getting caught in the paper clip, which tells me that paper clip needs to go on the side. Here is another gypsy image in a belly band. This is just blank, blank. Here's the other half of that gorgeous washed out Indian pattern paper. This is a, I have one of those Dover royalty-free art books that I wasn't using, and it had Persian carpets in it, so I just cut the book up and put this in here. Here's a tuck spot that will have its cloth that I sewed, even though I won't touch it, the sewing machine, to sew my own clothes. I will do it for art, and so I sewed this onto the page, and we'll have something in there. Here's the final image. These clips all have just fabric and what do you call that, eyelash trim on them, and more stamping. Now, the one thing about this journal is that I originally had a gusset on this edge here because I wanted it to go up around the front, and when it got too chunky I had to give that up. So I've got things that reinforce the non-bend right here, and now it's just open and you can put something in. But the journal's so chunky it's going to have to be something pretty flat. And then the back is just blank. I want to say that I haven't said that where I got my images, the gypsies, etc., are from several places. There's a place called Artfully Musing, There's free vintage digi stamps. The Graphics Fairy. I think I got one image from Magic Moonlight Images, and I already said Ephemera's Vintage Garden. So, and my inspiration, of course, comes from all the incredibly talented journal makers, and journal junkies in particular. I couldn't name any one because everyone is just so unbelievably creative that you see inspiring things every time you sit down and look at the posts on that group. So thank you to everyone. I hope that you enjoyed looking at this and that this one-take job comes out all right. My battery is flashing at me. I have to go. Thank you.